Hey, what's going on? This is DJ Righteous, world's first remote DJ and the house party expert. Today, I want to talk about themes and why they're important. A lot of people, especially when I'm dealing with house parties, they don't think a theme is important, or they don't even think that they would need a theme or have a theme for their particular parties. Well, I'm kind of here to tell you the exact opposite, that every party has a theme, and more in house parties than in probably any other event, themes are important because they give people a lot of information on whether or not, that's going to help them choose whether or not they want to go to your party. A lot of people that I talk to, they say, well, I don't have a theme. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, what are you going to do? And they go, well, I'm going to just, have friends come over to my house. They're probably going to drink and watch TV. And I go, well, the theme is I'm going to have some friends come over to my house. We're going to drink and we're going to watch TV. The point that I'm trying to make is every party has a theme, and it's only if you capitalize on that theme that you truly get to see whether or not your party is going to be a success. And themes are definitely important. Here at Remote DJs, which is the company that I own, we came up with a 4-part formula in which to help people start throwing better parties, and we call it the team formula, and each letter in the acronym stands for one of the important factors for a party, and T is the thing that I want to cover in this podcast today, which is theme. And like I was saying before, every party has a theme, and whether or not you want to capitalize it is truly up to you. And themes are important, like I said, because they give away a lot of information about your party. Here, I'll give you an example. Now, my real name, I go by my name DJ Righteous, but my real name is Marcus Howard. Now, let's say you didn't know who I was, and for the most part, you probably don't know who I am, and you go, and somebody comes up to you and they go, hey, Marcus is having a party this weekend. You want to go? And more than likely, you're going to think, well, do I know Marcus? Is he cool? And what am I going to be doing at this party? And that's gonna affect a lot of what it is that you choose to do. Now, what if that same person walked up to you and said, yo, Marcus is having a pajama party this weekend playing all 90s music. Let's go. Like, do you see the difference? The difference is with, hey, Marcus is throwing a party. Do you want to go? It's like, well, what information do I have? I don't have any information other than Marcus is throwing a party. But if you apply the theme to it, you go, Marcus is throwing a pajama party. So immediately you start to think, okay, well, do I have pajamas? Are they clean? Are they nice? Can I wear them in public? Because some people can't wear their pajamas in public. Who's going to be there? And all these other things. It starts to conjure up so many different images. And then you go, well, hey, I'm using 90s music all night. Well, it's okay, 90s music. Is it rap? Is it, is it old school hip hop? Is it going to be like rock songs? Like, what is it going to be? And then you kind of come up with this own image of what you think this party is going to be. And what you're doing is you're mentally investing yourself into the party. And so this is why I say, no matter what kind of event you're throwing, make sure you have a theme so the individuals know. So it's not just, hey, Marcus is throwing a party. Instead is, yo, Marcus is throwing a pajama party. You want to go? Do you see the difference? Like, when I said that, did you think more about a pajama party, or did you just think more about Marcus having a party? I think you thought more about pajama parties, and that's the important thing about it. Now, one of the types of themes that is pretty prevalent, especially in house parties, it's probably more with house parties, is what we like to call the no-name theme. Now, the no-name theme is exactly what I was talking about. Hey, I'm having a few friends come over, and, we're going to party. That's one type of theme. Another type of theme is the name recognition theme, which is what I just pointed out, which is, Marcus is throwing a party on XYZ day. Or, Marcus is even throwing a pajama party. It's still a name recognition party. Now, those are good if the person is popular. Like, for example, I'm a DJ, have a few fans. I don't have that many, but I don't think I would want to use my name when I'm throwing a specific party, just because, a lot of people, especially people outside of the region that I'm more popular in, don't know what my name is. But for example, I can say, yo, I'm having a toga party, and that's a difference. So people don't really think about my name. They think about, hey, the kind of party that I'm throwing. So unless you have a really popular person, like, for example, let's say if you're in college, let's say you got the big man on campus. The big man on campus of the football team is throwing a party. That's name recognition. A lot of people want to show up to that party, But if you are listening to a not so cool kid, or if you think you're a cool kid, like, I don't know you, but if you think you're a cool kid and you're not one of the cool kids, and you go, yo, I'm throwing a party, and then 2 weeks later you find out that not a lot of people came, It could be just because, when people think about, hey, this person is throwing a party, they don't think, I want to go to that party just because he was throwing it, and that's all the information that they had. So make sure you give them more information with different kind of themes. Right now, I want to talk about some themes that don't miss. Like, we've done mountains and mountains of research. I just wanted to give you a few quick themes that you can start using for your next party tomorrow to kind of help you get more people to show up or to make your event that much more successful. The first set of themes that I want to talk about is decades. You can never go wrong with a decades party. And what I mean by decades party, let's think 1970s. Like, for example, I threw a party at a roller rink where, it was set in the 1970s. They came with roller skates, equipped with bell bottoms, brown shoes, the fake afros, like the whole nine. And we had the DJ playing 70s music the entire time. So it was just like, bam, a lot of the people who went who were born in the 80s, like they didn't know anything about the 70s besides what they see in movies, but it was still a good time just because they were like, yo, I get to go back to the 70s. Never been there, but at least I can kind of do that now. You can do that same thing with the 80s. The 80s, you can do the origins of hip hop. You know what I mean? Because that was definitely a special time in United States history with the origins of hip hop. Then you also got into the electronica music, and you finally started to get into the more digital age when it came to music and electronic sounds and things like that. So you can definitely use those kind of things. I mean, I've even went all the way back to the 1920s. Man, I had on a zoot suit with my my shoes on, my patent leather shoes on, just kind of getting it all out. And a lot of women came in their masquerade ball dresses, and it was a good time. You know what I mean? And we didn't play 20s music because you can't stick with a lot of jazz and expect people to dance the entire night. But it was good. It was a fun time. So, and definitely throwing a 90s party, because a lot of us are 80s babies, you know what I mean? Throwing a 90s party is huge, because if you're born in the 80s, in the 70s, or the 90s, you remember the 90s music, and it kind of revolutionized a lot of the things that we do today. So make sure you stick to the decades. Then you can move into the actual ideas. There are so many different kind of theme parties that you can do. I won't be able to go through them because I only got 10 minutes on YouTube, so I just want to make sure I got as much information as I could. But there are a few places where you can find some themes if you can't think of some actual themes for yourself. I gave you the decades, but there's also, you can go to a website that's called partypop.com, P-A-R-T-Y, pop is in boop, pop.com. They got a whole bunch of themes there, and I think it's even categorized by how old you are and the kind of party that you want to throw, which is a good resource. You also got party411.com. Party411.com works as well. They got a lot of good information for you. If you're in college, it's one specifically for college kids. It's called Campus Grotto. You can go ahead and check out Campus Grottos. Now, they have some themes that aren't SPC, so if you're a bit older, don't be offended if you see it, and they got some funny names and some weird names. It's just the way it is with Campus Grotto. And then also, if you look on my website, djrighteous.com, I have a free ebook, which we've researched for 7 or 8 months. It's the top 25 party themes. We interviewed thousands of college kids. We went to a bunch of parties. We talked to a lot of promoters and bouncers, both at clubs, house parties, you name it, we've done it, to kind of put together a list of top 25 party themes that you can use. And usually if you do those, you usually don't miss, and it's free. You don't have to pay for anything. It's just a resource from me to you, just so you can start throwing better parties. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say about themes, just that it's truly important, and you want to make sure that if you don't have a huge name, like if you're not Puffy, if you're not a celebrity, you can have a big name, i.e. you can be a big name on campus, or you can be a big name around your job, and you can name drop to say, hey, come to my party. But then at the same time, you want to make sure that you give people another reason to go, because you got to remember that when you're throwing a party, you're competing against a bunch of other things. For example, if you're in school, you're competing with study time, other parties, drinking games, campus events, what have you. If you're out and you're working, you're competing against people going home, going to sleep, having extra work to do, going to the movies, going out for drinks, or whatever the case may be. So you got to make sure that when you're throwing your party, you're also giving people images that they can conjure up so they can start thinking about, hey, I want to go to that party because it's going to be cool. So that's what I want to do. I don't really have that much time left, so I just want to say one more thing. The next installment that we're going to talk about is E, which is entertainment and the team formula. And we're going to show you how to, get people when they show up to your party to not want to leave I'm out of time. Next week. Bye.